लोकाभिरामं रणरङ्गधीरं राजीवनेत्रं रघुवंशनाथं कारुण्यरूपं करुणाकरं तं श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं ते। मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयोधमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये। श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये। श्यावर रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। श्री कृष्ण कन्हैया लाल। Okay. So before we start, anybody have any question from the last class or from any of the previous classes? So in the last class, when we met 2 weeks ago, we were still on the other side of the ocean. So Lord Bhagwan Ram prayed to Shiva, Lord Shiva, and established Shivalinga, which is now known as Rameshwar. Right? So Rameshwar literally means Ram Keshwar or Ishwar Bhagwan Ram Keshwar. So that's what he named it. And that temple is still there, very beautiful, very magnificent temple. And anytime you get chance, you tell your parents to take you there, and you will really, really like it. Just we went there. I went there like about 3-4 years ago. It's an amazing place. So now that temple was established, instituted, Ocean already told Bhagwan Ram that there is a way to cross the ocean, and you have got 2 experts in your team, 2 engineers. One is Nal and other is Neil, and they have some magic. So if any stone they hold and put in the water, it doesn't sink. So let them do it. Let them make this bridge, because the water stones will not sink. And I will also control my waves so that the stones don't go away here and there. They remain intact and the bridge will be constructed. So that's exactly what, after establishing Rameshwaram, Bhagwan Ram did. He instructed his army, particularly Nal and Neel, to construct the bridge. So all other mountains, all other monkeys, there were tens of thousands of the monkeys who were assembled there. They all went all over and collected, the rocks and mountains and whatever they could find. And they brought from far places and gave to Nal and Neel, and they will test them and drop in the ocean, and slowly and gradually the bridge was constructed. So they constructed the bridge, and then they used the bridge to go on the other side to Lanka. We talked last week, it was 100 yojan long bridge. 100 yojan is 800 miles. And if you're in India, we don't use miles now, it will be like about 1,300 kilometers. So it will be something like from Bombay to Delhi, that distance, a long bridge. So they constructed that bridge. NASA has taken photographs under the bridge in recent times, and they found that bridge, or the parts of bridge, are still there under the ocean. So that establishes the credibility that such a bridge was actually constructed. Of course, that bridge is not there anymore. No, it has been thousands and thousands of years ago, but its remains are there under the ocean.
Sir, I have seen it in Google Maps also.
I've seen Google Maps, right? So you can see in the Google Maps, because NASA has taken those pictures and made them available. Okay, so now the army has come to Lanka on the other side of Lanka. So far it was, in the mainland India, they crossed the bridge over the ocean. Now they are in Lanka. So now what happens? After reaching there, now they say, well, what do we do now? We have sent Hanumanji. Hanumanji went there. He met Ravan. He tried to explain to him that, come on, man, give up all this and surrender, return Sita back to Lord Ram with respect and dignity and honor. And it will be all over. We don't have to do anything. But he's not listened. Now, what do we do? Shall we attack Ravan or what do we do? So Bhagwan Ram always takes advice of his friends and ministers. He doesn't make a decision himself. See, that is democracy, was established by Lord Ram long, long time ago. Today we talk about democracy, right? Where you consult other people, you take everybody's opinion, and then you make decision. That's democracy. Dictatorship is you make your own decision and dictate on everyone. That, okay, I decided this way and that's it. Everybody has to follow. Bhagwan Ram did not do that. So he could have decided, okay, we've come all the way here, let's just go and attack Ravan and kill him. He didn't say that. He says, okay, what do we do? Let's see, what don't you guys suggest?
Hello.
So they didn't want his bloodshed. So now we hear the news, probably some of you are following it up, what's happening in Ukraine. So with so much bloodshed, thousands of people have died, hundreds of thousands of people have left the country. They become now refugees in other countries. Lord Ram did not want all that. He didn't want thousands and thousands of people die unnecessarily. A lot of Rakshas will die, a lot of monkeys will die. So war is never good. Prevent it. So he had a meeting with his friends and ministers. So they're like, well, let's make one more effort. Let's send one more of our the smartest person in our team to Lanka and meet Ravan as our messenger, as our ambassador, and tell him that, look, we have already in Lanka. We are very close to you. Now, if you don't surrender, now if you don't give up, now if you don't return Sita with dignity and honor, we don't have any choice but to attack you. And attack means, you will die and your entire race will disappear. So let's make that attempt. So that kind of recommendation was made by one of his ministers, and Lord Ram agreed. How much patience he had, right? He must have been very impatient to meet Sita, but he was not showing the impatience. He says, no, let's find a peaceful solution. So they say, okay, who will we send now? So shall we send Hanumanji or something? They say, no, don't send Hanumanji. He's already gone once. He did not listen to him. And Hanumanji is just too soft. So now we need somebody a little stronger with diplomatic skills. Hanumanji doesn't have diplomatic skills. Hanumanji is a very kind, soft-hearted person. But he doesn't know how to use diplomacy. So whom did they pick to send across to meet Ravan? Anybody knows? Yeah. So they sent Angad, right? And who was Angad? Angad was son of Bali. If you remember, 2 weeks ago, we talked about him, 4 weeks ago. So Bali's son, whom Lord Ram killed, and Sugriv was made king of Kishkinda. So Sugriv was his nephew. So that time Kishkinda, for the kingdom of Kishkinda, Sugriv was made the king, and Sugriv was made the prince of that kingdom. So Sugriv was coming from a royal family. So he knew how diplomacy works. He knew how a king talks to a king or a prince talks to a king. Hanumanji did not know that. So Hanumanji, great deity of ours. We pray him, respect him, love him so much. But for this job, they decided, no, Hanuman is not the right person. Angad is the right person because he knows diplomacy, he knows how to talk, he knows when to use force, and he knows when to retreat and things like that. So they asked him, so Lord Ram asked Angad, hey Angad, just go, let's make one last ditch effort, go across, meet Ravan and explain that this is your last chance. So Angad obviously very delighted to get this opportunity to serve Lord Ram. They're already in Lanka. It doesn't take him much time to go there. It doesn't cross any river or any bridge or anything, or an ocean. So he goes to Ram's darbar, right? Court of Ravan's court. And then he talks to Ravan, hey Ravan, what are you doing? Lord Ram is already here. His army is already here. There are tens of thousands of soldiers in the army. So why want this unnecessary war and kill a lot of people? A lot of people from your side will die, a lot of people from our side will die, and you yourself will die, your brothers will die, your son will die, your sons will die, and all that will happen. But Vibhishan, I'm saying, sorry, Ravan will not listen to him. He said, look, I'm so powerful, I have controlled all the gods, and so on and so on and so on. He went on and on. Then Angad provoked him. Then look, I'm putting my foot down on the ground, and any one of you in this whole darbar, in entire court of yours, can even shake my foot, I will lose Sita. On behalf of Rama, I'm saying we will give up Sita and we will accept our defeat and go back. Now that was a very bold statement by Angad, right? After all, he was just an ordinary Vanar, right? Part of that Vanar Sena. And he's challenging Ravan that if you or any one of you, your son Meghnad or any of the soldiers or any of other army generals can come and lift my foot from the ground, that means it's an automatic defeat of ours. We will accept that. So Ravan was very happy. Oh, that's a very, very, very quick and cheap way of getting the problem solved. So that's not a problem. So all this he told his people in his court that go and just lift his foot and throw him away from just lift his foot and throw him in the ocean. Well, one soldier came, he touched his feet, nothing happened, couldn't move. The second came, and eventually Meghnad came. We talked about Meghnad last time. Meghnad is the one who went and arrested Hanumanji by using his weapon, Brahmastra. So he came and he tried to lift Hanuman's foot, Hanuman's leg, but he couldn't move it either. And everybody was stunned that, man, this person must be very, very strong. Even Meghnad could not lift him. Then who else? Then Ravan himself comes. That, okay, now finally I have to show my strength. He comes, he bends and tries to lift Angad's foot. And as he tries to touch it, then Angad himself voluntarily lifts his foot. And he says, hey, Ravan, why are you touching my feet? Go and touch feet of Ram. If you touch feet for Ram, you will get salvation. By touching my feet, you will not get anything, right? And makes so much mockery of Ravan, like humiliates Ravan basically. And Ravan comes back on his throne, and Angad comes back Bhagwan Ram and tells him, look, Lord Ram, thank you for the opportunity you sent me there. I did my best. I tried to explain him, but he will not listen. So it was a mission in an effort, made a diplomatic effort, which even today's we see happens worldwide. If there are conflicts or there are issues, the countries try to make diplomatic efforts. First, you have to make those efforts before you engage into act like war, act like battle or fight or quarrel or things like that. So we should also do that in our life. Look, suppose you don't get along, suppose you have a friend or somebody, you are kind of very unhappy, don't fight. First, make some efforts for reconciliation, directly or through some other, friend or some other means, because the fight can always be done. War can always. That should be the last, 1 second, last resort. So we should make our effort for peaceful solutions first. But Angad made that effort, Lord Ram made that effort, but unfortunately that effort didn't work. It doesn't always work, but it definitely must be made. Yes, somebody had a question?
So?
Yeah, go ahead, Devanshu.
Master, I just wanted to ask if audible or not, because I wasn't in the starting, you were calling my name.
I can't hear you better.
Sir, you were not able to hear me in the starting, so I just wanted to ask whether I was audible or not.
Were you able to hear any one of you? I can hear you, but I can't understand you.
She said that you said that you couldn't hear her in the beginning, so can you hear her voice properly now?
Yeah, no, I can't hear you your voice is not coming very clearly. So do you have any question, Devanshi?
No, sir.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Sir, I can hear you.
Okay, very good. So now there is no option left. Now, only option is to go to a war. So now from this point onwards, the war starts between two armies, army of Lord Ram, Vanar Sena, and the army of Ravana. So the long description of war in the book, in Ramcharitmanas and Ramayana, we don't have to go to the long description. So first war happens between Meghnad. The big war is big battle between Meghnad and Lakshmana. So Meghnad is a very brave, very strong warrior of Ravana. He comes and Lakshmana comes from this side. They have a huge battle. And when Meghnad thinks that he is going to lose his battle, then he uses an ultimate weapon that he has, which is called a weapon that he had a name, Veer Ghatini Shakti. Shakti is like a weapon, and Veer Ghatini, Veer means brave, and Ghatini means some that destroys. So destroyer of brave weapon. So something that weapon will destroy the enemy. So he shoots that weapon and Lakshmana becomes unconscious. He doesn't die, but he becomes unconscious. And when he becomes unconscious, Hanumanji picks him up, brings to Lord Ram, and of course, there's a whole sad atmosphere because Lakshmana is unconscious, and they don't know how to bring him back to a normal condition. And then Jamvant, their elderly wise man, advises that, well, we don't have any doctor in our team, but there's a doctor in Ravana. We should take his help. Maybe he will come and he may some treatment. So Hanumanji goes to Lanka, which is not very far. They're already in Lanka. Basically, they have to go to Shushan. So that doctor's name or Vaidya name is Shushan. So he goes there and brings Shushan to where Lakshmana is. And Shushan examines Lakshmana and says, look, he needs a special herb by which we can treat him, but that herb I don't have. And that herb is available only in Himalayas. So somebody has to go to Himalayas and get that herb, and they should be back before the dawn, before sun rises. So we don't have much time left. And Manji goes there, it's this story we all know, and he looks around and, well, how do I identify that herb? Well, that herb has its own light. So you will see a twinkle light in a plant in Himalayas. If you see there's some light twinkling in a plant, that is the right herb. And then the Ravan does a trick that he wants to confuse Hanuman. So he puts similar artificial lights in all other plants on same mountain. So now there's hundreds and thousands of lights are blinking. So Hanuman gets confused. That which is, do you think that all of them are the herbs or what is this, That doctor told me there is only one plant like that. So there should be only one light or maybe few there. Or every plant has a light like this. So of course, very smart, right? Hanuman is very smart, right? So he picks up the entire mountain and brings that to where Bhagwan Ram and Lakshmana is. That photo that he's lifting the mountain, we see, all the time, right? There are few photos of Hanumanji very, very popular. One of them is just holding mountain on his palm and flying. So when he has brought the mountain, so then everybody gets surprised. Why did he bring whole mountain? And Manji said, look, all these plants are lightning. So I don't know which one is the right one. So let the doctor should know which is the right one. So doctor says, yeah, I know which is the right one. So he was, he has gone to medical school. He has got education. So he knows exactly which plant has the right medicine. So he picks that plant, picks that herb, and applies to Lakshmana, and Lakshmana gets consciousness, and everybody is very happy and pleased. Now, while all this is happening, Ravana goes now to wake up Kumbhakarna. Kumbhakarna is his younger brother, who has, as we have probably talked much earlier, he sleeps 6 months and wakes up just one day in 6 months because he eats so much. In one day, he eats like people eat in 6 months. So he has been, in a way, he has been cursed that you just sleep all the time, so you don't eat. So Ravana wakes him up and says, why are you waking me up? This is not farming time to wake me up, but 6 months are not gone. But no, there's the emergency. There's emergency, you have to wake up. Well, what is the emergency? Oh, well, the emergency is, and then he tells the whole story. That what happened, our sister Shurpanakha went to forest, his ears and nose were chopped off. And then, I went and I brought his wife here, Sita, and now these people are husband, and he brought a whole army here, so we are in a war now. So Kumbhakarna tries to explain him that you are my elder brother, so I respect you, but you are an idiot. He is not an ordinary prince. He is nothing but Lord Vishnu's incarnation. And you want to quarrel with Lord Vishnu's incarnation? What an idiot are you? So Ravana says, are you my younger brother or are you giving me lecture? Are you going to help me or not? Kumbhakarna says, well, I will. You have given me food all my life. I have never done any work for you and you have supported me. So I will be loyal to. I will go and fight, but I know I will not come back. I will die there. And he gives a big hug to his brother Ravana because he knows that's his last time he's meeting him. He goes to the war and creates a havoc. He's very brave, very strong, very powerful, kills thousands and thousands of soldiers and Ram Sena. And when he terrorizes everybody, then Lord Ram says, look, you all take it easy. I will go and take care of this man. So Lord Ram comes, Ram and Kumbhakarna engage in a battle, one-on-one battle, and then he shoots a sharp arrow and kills Kumbhakarna. And when Kumbhakarna dies, naturally Ravana is extremely distressed, very unhappy that he lost his brother. And he is in a grief. And while he's weeping and grieving, his son Meghnad comes. That don't worry, Daddy. I'm still here. I'll go and kill Lakshmana tomorrow. Don't you worry. And the next day, Meghnad comes again for the battle. And now in this battle, Meghnad and Lakshmana, huge battle. And in this battle, Lakshmana kills Meghnad. And that's the end of Meghnad. And now no big soldier is left. Only Ravana decided, now I have to engage in battle. So he comes, and there's a whole huge description in Ramayana about their battle, but we'll make it short here. He and Ram engage in a battle. Ram doesn't have a chariot. Ravana, of course, has a chariot. So Vibhishana gets a little confused that Lord Ram, you don't even have a chariot. You are bare feet on the ground with, just a Dhanush Ban and this. My brother, though, he has a very fancy chariot and he's got all the weapons and he's protected by all sides. So this is not a fair game. So Lord Ram explains to him that why he's like that. And if he doesn't have a Rath, what does Rath mean? A very philosophical discussion between Lord Ram and Vibhishana. So there's a brief discourse between Lord Ram and Vibhishana. It's often called Vibhishana Gita. Like in Gita, there's a discourse between Krishna and Arjun. Arjun gets confused that, I shouldn't be doing that. And that's my uncle, my brothers, my cousins, my mama, my chacha, they are there. How can I fight? How can I kill them? Then Lord Krishna explains everything, and that becomes Bhagavad Gita. Similarly, here Lord Bhagavan Ram explains to Vibhishana, and known as Vibhishana Gita, a very, very short Gita. And after that, there's a huge battle between the two, and Lord Ram, obviously, as we know, shoots 31 arrows at one go. One arrow hits his navel. We all have navel. We are born like that. So navel has a amrit inside. You know what is amrit in English? Nectar, right? So the property of amrit is that a person who is amrit can never die. Okay. So the reason he is so far he was not getting killed because of that existence of amrit. But when Ram shoots an arrow, a very sharp, burning arrow on the navel, that dries up all the amrit. So he's no amrit left, no nectar left. And another 20 arrows remove his 20 arms because he's at 20 arms, and 10 arrows remove his 10 heads. So he's without any heads, without any arms, without that amrit, and then he gets killed. So that is how the end of Ravan. After Ravan is killed, then of course, the kind of Ramayana story is over, kind of, right? And then all gods are very happy. They come, they pray him. Lord Brahma comes and prays him. Lord Indra, the king of gods, come and pray him. And Indra asks that, so thank you so much. This Ravan was such a torture to us for hundreds and hundreds of years. He has enslaved us. So please tell me if anything I can do for you. So Lord Ram says, look, many of my soldiers have died. You can see their bodies on this ground. So can you bring them back to life? Now Indra has a power. So he showers that nectar, that amrit upon them, and all soldiers of Lord Ram who died comes back to alive. Now Ram himself could have been done it, Bhagwan, but he didn't do it. He let Indra do it. So he always believed in giving credit to others, right? So he wanted to give credit to Indra to do this rather than he doing himself. So he comes back to life. All Vanarasena comes back to life. And the Lord Shiv comes and he also prays to Lord Ram. And then after everybody has done, then Vibhishan comes. Vibhishan is now king. And he prays and says, what do I do? Well, what we do is, you've already become king here. Now you go and bring Sita with respect. So Vibhishan and Angad and Hanuman and all these people go to Sita, Ashok Vatika, and they tell her the whole story that, oh, Mother Sita, there was a huge big battle between Ram and Ravan. You must have heard all the sound and noise, but he's gone. And now please come, and we want you to take you to Ram. And Sita comes to Ram. And then what? Now it's time to go back to Ayodhya. The whole mission is accomplished, right? So, well, we need to go to Ayodhya. Well, now how do we go back to Ayodhya? Then Vishnu said, please allow me to give a service. I've got a special airplane, right? Now we fly by planes, right? So, well, I've got a very special plane. So why don't you use my plane? Just sit in the plane, and it has a lot of interesting properties. Well, like what? Well, first you sit in the plane. Then Lord Ram and Sita sit in the plane. And then all other people are still there. All these main army people like, Hanuman and Angad and Javan and Vibhishan and Nal. So they all want to go with him to Ayodhya. Sir, we want to come to Ayodhya. We want to see you incarnated. At least we want to give us that chance. And Ram is so kind, so merciful. He says, yeah, okay, come on. So they all board the plane. So the property of this plane is, it is of infinite capacity. Any number of people can sit in that plane. Now, Ramcharitmanas doesn't say that how many people, but it could have 10, 20, 100, 1,000, 5 million, whatever. Right. Other property of that plane is, it could fly at the speed of man ki gati se chalne wala plane. Right. As you think about that, I want to be in Australia, immediately in Australia. So this plane, the name of the plane is, anybody knows? Other than Vedanish? It is a Pushpak. That's the name of that plane. Pushpak Viman. So that plane was given to Lord Ram, excuse me, I shouldn't say given to Lord Ram, that the original owner of that plane was Ravan's some stepbrother, Kuber. That's again long story, but Ravan by force snatched it from Kuber. So it was not really property of Ravan. It was a property of Kuber. And now, of course, Ravan died, then it still was there. So Vishnu gave that to Lord Ram. So that plane, Pushpa had Lord Ram, Lakshman, Sita, Hanumanji, Angad, Nal, Neel, Jamwant, and many others. Vibhishan. So they all flew to Ayodhya. Now, once they come to Ayodhya, they made a couple of stops in between. And after they landed there, then Lord Ram said, well, it has been 14 years. Now, Bharat came to meet me and he did not want to become a king, and I gave him my shoes. But it has been a long time. Maybe he has changed his mind. Maybe he has already become king and he doesn't want anybody else to become king. So let me check it out. See, we always have those doubts. So he's acting like an ordinary human being. See, after so many years, people change their minds. So they're like, well, and if that's the case, then he's my brother. So let him rule and I will just stay here. Or I will go back to forest or whatever. So again, he sends Hanumanji. Well, Hanumanji comes to Ayodhya to meet Bharat, and he sees Bharat. Bharat, when he sees Ayodhya, he sees Bharat is very weak, very pale. So what happened to Bharatji? He said, look, today is the last day. Today is 13 years and 364 days. And 14 years are ending. Still, my Lord has not come. So I'm ready to commit suicide. I'll just put myself in a fire and burn myself. Then Hanumanji said, don't worry, don't relax. Lord Ram has already come. He's just outside in the suburb. So he just sent me to find out, how are you? And are you interested in meeting him? So, I'm dying to meet him. So please bring Lord Ram immediately. So he comes back with that message to Lord Ram, and Lord Ram is very happy. So Ram and Sita and Hanuman, Lakshman, and everybody else, they all rush to Ayodhya exactly after 14 years. And on this side, since Bharat already got the news, he goes to palaces, tells his mothers, like Kekai and Sumitra and Kausalya, and other brothers, Shatrughna, and everybody else, that Lord Ram is coming. So they all rush to the other side and they meet probably at the border of Ayodhya, boundary there somewhere. And it's a very emotional scene. And Ram has come. So they all beat each other, they hug each other, and so on. And then the next day, the Guru Vasishtha says, look, let's not waste our time. Let's incarnate. Let's make Ram king right now. Are you guys in agreement? They will say, yeah, we have been dying for this day. And then Lord Ram gets incarnated as the king, and he becomes the king of Ayodhya. And then after that, there is a description of Ram Raj, the kingdom of Ram, which these days we hear a lot. That what happened during his kingdom, how people were happy, there's no animosity, they all loved each other, they cared for each other, there were no evils, and things like that. And that pretty much concludes the story of Ramayana. So we begin from very beginning from birth of Bhagwan Ram and the cause for that, and we covered the entire story of Ramayana till this time. So now it's 10:10 in my time. So rest of the time I want to use, we have technically 20 minutes, or we can stay longer if need be, or shorter. If you have any question on this course or on today's what we taught or anything, you can send a message. You can also invite your parents if they want to join and give me some feedback, some suggestions, some thoughts for future. How do we do this class? If we do this class, what is that we should have done differently? We didn't do this time. So I love to hear from you. So let me stop with this, and I bless you. God bless you, children. You stayed with me for this long. I really admire you, and you have so much interest in learning our scriptures. That's so beautiful. And keep learning. We have only touched Ramayana, we have not got into depth, because I just wanted to give you a feel. Same way you read. Now we also have an English version of that book. Which I posted on this group. You can it's still in a draft form, so you can those who read only English, you can read the English part of the Breach Drama. Okay, so let me stop now. It's time for you to speak, and you can in your homes. You can tell your parents if they want to come and join, and if they want to give any suggestion, any thought, any advice, or anything. Okay, and who wants to start? Medansha, you want to say? I see a raise hand. हाँ कहिए आप प्लीज.
हाँ, बहुत अच्छा आपने बच्चों को सिखाया और बहुत खुशी हुई, बच्चों को भी बहुत अच्छा नॉलेज मिला. इसी तरह का नेक्स्ट टाइम भागवत पे भी इन लोगों को करवाइए क्लास.
जी
बहुत अच्छा लगा.
धन्यवाद. चलिए, और एनी अदर सजेशन, और किसी का कोई विचार, एनी थॉट? So how did you like, if you think if you do it all over again?
I have liked this very much. Thanks for it.
What changes you would suggest? Was it too long, too short, too entertaining, too boring? Yeah, go ahead.
No, sir. It's not very boring, not very long, not very short. But it is very interesting. I liked it.
Okay, very good.
Actually, I'm learning Ramayana from very long time.
Okay. Anybody else? Nobody has anything to talk? Go ahead, Beta.
So,
Go ahead, Ayati.
will there be another session or something?
No, this is the last session.
Okay.
Yeah, Lord Ram has already come back to Ayodhya. He's already become king, and now he's ruling.
Hello.
Devanshi, yes, go ahead.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, go ahead. I am not able to understand you, but if somebody else understands,
But the only thing was
I can't really hear you.
hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Put in the chat.
Can anybody hear her? I can't.
No, sir. I also can't hear her.
Okay, she's put in a chat. This session is amazing. Okay. Okay, thank you. Sorry, for my cough. Okay, Anjana, you have anything to say? Nika, Ira, Amya, Shreyans, Namami.
I liked it. It was very interesting.
It was a fun class and it was interesting to learn. Thank you for teaching us.
Okay, welcome. Okay, I think that's all. I'd like to thank you and bless you for all good things that you do in life. If anytime you have any question, you can always reach out to me, and I will try to answer. On every Saturday, we have a program on which we discuss on different kind of aspects of Ramayana, mostly. And but most of the time, those discussions are in Hindi. So if you understand Hindi, you can try on some Saturdays, And I know in terms of under complexity wise, you will not have any difficulty understanding. Only issue could be language, because most of the time it's in Hindi. So if you don't understand Hindi, then that may be little difficult. Yeah. And
कल का प्रोग्राम आपका नहीं देख पाई थी, कल का आपका प्रोग्राम नहीं देख पाई थी, तो उसका वीडियो भेजने का थोड़ा सा
हाँ, वो 2-3 दिन लगते हैं उसको YouTube बनने में। तो जैसे YouTube बन जाएगा तो मैं
प्रोग्राम मिस हो गया था,
हाँ, इसी ग्रुप में मैं कर दूंगा उसको अपलोड। कल हमने क्या बात की थी, भगवान शिव जी
मानस में शिव जी थे।
हाँ, अभी 1 तारीख को 1 मार्च इज महाशिवरात्रि,
हाँ हाँ हाँ,
that Lord Shiv's biggest day, right?
yes, yes.
So yesterday we talked about Lord Shiv and his role in Ramcharitmanas.
हाँ हाँ,
तो हाँ,
वीडियो नहीं देख पाई थी इसीलिए।
हाँ, कल आप देख नहीं पाए, ठीक है। हाँ, the kids can attend, not a problem. It's for everybody. So that's why I was just saying that it is open for everybody.
Sir, I also want to ask a thing. Sir, like it was told in the beginning that there would be exam and something. So when will
Yeah, no, yeah, you are right. We didn't do that. So see, how many of you want to do an exam? You want to do an exam? Okay.
Sir, I want to.
What I will do is I will set up something on this group, right? Something like a term paper or something, so you can write it up. And maybe what we can do is this. Yeah, go ahead, Hayati.
So for the Saturday program, if it's gonna be online, where can I get the link?
It's sent, generally we send every Friday, and most probably your parents must be in one of those groups where this is posted. If not, what I will do, I will right now I will put a link here before I forget. Just a second, give me a minute. Okay, copy link. Chat. So take that link and join this group. And I will also post that link to our kids Ramayana Kids program. Okay.
Sir, now I have joined that group.
Yeah, so it's here and also in this that our WhatsApp group. I've sent that link. So you join this group, so you will automatically, typically every Friday we send too early, people forget. And it is say if you join that link and then that Zoom link also for that group is that activity is always same, which is let me see if I can find that Zoom link. Anyway, so then once you have that Zoom link, it is the same Zoom link every time. Like this for this class, we have this Zoom link, same way there is Zoom link for that. So you can come on any Saturday, every Saturday, and then you'll come to know other programs also. There are other activities that we keep doing. So what I'm going to do is this, which will be very good. I will ask you, let me give some thoughts. I will ask you to prepare some paper or write-up on this class. And then I will ask you to come and make a presentation on this group on one of the Saturdays. So a lot of people will listen to you. Is that okay? And maybe I'll give you like a 10-minute of time on your paper that you write.
Okay.
And then we'll say this is what the students of this class have done. Okay. How many of you like to receive a certificate for attending this class?
I.
So those of you like to receive a certificate, again, don't write on the chat, but on that WhatsApp group, just write a little message that I would like to receive a certificate. So then we'll prepare a certificate. It might take a week or two, and we'll email you that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. Anything else? Namami, you want to say anything better? Yeah, Namami, I see your hand, but you want to say anything?
Sir, am I audible now?
You are very audible. Yes, go ahead.
Sir, I was asking that the presentation is to be personal or we can do that in group also.
I think do it. Do it. Do it your own presentation. Let me just think about the topic and all that which I sang, and then everybody makes maybe maximum 10 minutes presentation, but it doesn't have to be 10 minutes. We want to do it less than 10. You can do it less than 10. So, so that might be better. So then let's say, I don't know how many of you will do it. So let's say six of you do it or 7 of you do it. So I'll allocate 10 minutes to everybody. So that'll be, this session on Saturday is hour and a half. So 6-7 presentations like that will be very, very good. And a lot more people do it, then we can do over 2 Saturdays. So other people, all those adults join this session on Saturdays, they come to know that, what this class has been up to and what is it you learned, and then things like that. As I would say, just make it individual presentation. You can take help of your parents if you want, and things like that. Yeah, go ahead, Ati.
Okay, sir.
So will you post the topic in your?
I will. Yeah. So give me some time. I am a little bit busy for next 2-3 days. So sometime during next week, I will post on our WhatsApp group. So it will be like a term end assignment type thing. So
Yeah,
you
but
do
I
that.
don't think I'm in the WhatsApp group.
Oh, you should be. Otherwise, how do you get to know? You are. Let me see. You or your parents or somebody should be in that group. Let me send you a link of that also. If not, you can do that right now. Add participants, invite, copy link.
Sir, so you will send that topics and questions.
That's where exactly.
WhatsApp group.
Yeah.
Our kids group.
Otherwise, how would I communicate, right? Okay. So this link I've just sent you, this link is to join that WhatsApp group, which is for this class. Do you see it? On the chat, the second link is to join the WhatsApp group for this class. So where I communicate with you, through your parents, I think in most cases. So, and my assumption was that all of you or your parents or one of your parents is in that group. Let me just see. Rajesh Ojha. Rajesh Ojha.
Yeah, that's my dad. Okay. I just my dad.
You have a dad, right? So your dad is there in this group.
Okay.
And I thought your mom was also there. Probably not. But you can add yourself if you like. You already have the link. Right? Okay. So anything else? All right. So nothing else. Once again, thank you for being in the class. I completely enjoyed teaching you. You were very sincere and attentive. And sometimes I was very surprised the level of interest many of you have. And that's a very good thing to see. On Saturday, now if you all have the links, so whenever you find any topic interesting, Like next Saturday will be a very good topic. And although he'll speak in Hindi, he is a scientist. He's in Madhya Pradesh, Jabalpur. So he will talk about Ramayana with modern science. He himself is a like biologist or that science. So he will discuss Ramayana with the science, modern science, with modern science perspective. So that is something probably you all may like. So he will not talk about all this bhakti and devotion and things like that. He will talk more about it totally, purely as a scientist, how does one look at Ramayana and understand Ramayana. So that may be very of great interest to all of you. Okay, very nice. May God bless you all. You always be very happy. And let's close this class and this course with some Shanti mantra. Om Sarvesham Swastirбhavatu Sarvesham Shantirbhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Sarve Bhavanti Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukbhag Bhavet Om Asito Ma Sadgamaya Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mratyormam Bhradgamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yes,